John Cassavetes was a maverick filmmaker whose insatiable curiosity about the human condition led him to challenge the language of film and the accepted conventions of Hollywood filmmaking. Captivating, offbeat and complex characters, use of non-professional actors, handheld cameras, shoestring budgets and unpredictable storylines. His films were too often disregarded during his lifetime. Today, however, Cassavetes is widely revered as a genius, a visionary, and the godfather of American independent cinema.
We must never forget this is only a play.
Cassavetes has had a major influence on contemporary filmmakers, many becoming big players in the world of cinema, including the likes of Martin Scorsese, for whom Cassavetes served as an early mentor. To talk about John Cassavetes the director, one must first recognize Cassavetes the actor. He acted in dozens of films, television shows, and plays, also starring in notable Hollywood movies, including Don Siegel's The Killers, Robert Aldrich's The Dirty Dozen, for which he received an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor.
And I know the rules.
Why don't you have to march?
Because condemned men don't have to drill. And there's nothing you can do about it, mister.
What do you mean, a witch?
Roman Polanski's Rosemary's Baby.
His father was a martyr to it. Do you know how he died?
Honey, it's 1966.
If you say anything more about witches or witchcraft, we'll be forced to take you to a mental hospital. You don't want that, do you? So put your shoes on.
We just want to take you home. Someone's gonna hurt you.
For the baby.
And Elaine May's Mikey and Nicky.
Hey. You all right?
Yeah, sure.
Yet Cassavetes came to regard his acting work simply as a way to raise funds to finance his own films, which were diligently made over many months or years.
You know, Lieutenant, you're really a cocky fellow. You're very sure of this, aren't you?
I think that there is a very distinct possibility of murder in this case, yes.
Cassavetes was an actor's director, putting all the emphasis on the performances. He would light up whole rooms with no marks for the actors to hit, giving them complete freedom. He frequently collaborated with a rotating group of actors and crew made up of family and friends, and many of his films were shot and edited in his and Rowlands' Los Angeles home.
Would love be considered an art?
Well, some people think so.
Cassavetes' low-budget directorial debut, Shadows, released in 1959, revolves around an interracial romance.
You don't know what it is to be hurt.
It simmers with the exhilaration of smoky nightclubs and 50s bohemia. Shot in 16mm on the streets of New York with a volunteer crew, it was as groundbreaking in its content as in its raw, spontaneous style. The script was developed from improvisations with the cast of novice actors in his drama workshop, where he taught an alternative to method acting.
Tony Russell, this is my brother Hugh.
Hi.
And this is Rupert Cross.
I didn't know you.
He raised funds for the film by soliciting donations on a late-night radio show, an idea as trailblazing as the film itself. Unable to find an American distributor for the film, he entered it in the 1960 Venice Film Festival, where it won the Critics Award.
Tell her, I realize now there's no difference between us. Anything else?
Cassavetes then signed with Paramount to direct Too Late Blues and A Child Is Waiting. However, when producer Stanley Kramer went behind Cassavetes' back to re-edit A Child Is Waiting, a physical altercation proceeded which led to Cassavetes being out of work for the next couple of years.
Now, the majority of the children here are in the middle category. How many of them would be able to lead a normal life? What percentage would you say?
Mr. Holland, what is normal?
Dr. Clark, we didn't...
Normality is relative.
Faces was the second film to be both directed and independently financed by Cassavetes. Inspired by his anger with American society, it documents one night in the failing marriage of an upper-middle-class couple.
I want a divorce. I want a divorce. It's the only thing to do, isn't it?
Shot in continuity over a 6-month period, predominantly in his home, it would take another 3 years of intermittent editing before Faces would finally be released in 1968. Featuring probing close-ups with performances that will take your breath away. The film starred his wife, Gena Rowlands, who he married during his days as a struggling actor, John Marley, Seymour Cassel, and first-time actress, Lynn Carlin.
No. You have to stay away. Please. Stay away. You gotta stay away. You know, anybody that would pop a lot of sleeping pills, anybody that would their guts out, you know, in front of company.
Faces received Oscar nominations for Best Original Screenplay, Best Supporting Actress, and Best Supporting Actor, relaunching Cassavetes' career. Husbands, released in 1970, was his first color 35mm creation and his first high-profile cast. Peter Falk, Ben Gazzara, and Cassavetes himself. 3 married suburbanites go on a debauched bender following the death of their friend. What follows is an exhausting display of masculinity in crisis.
I get the feeling you want to be alone.
I might as well be alone.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Doing much of the handheld camera work himself, Cassavetes' probing camera remains detached, resulting in uninhibited realism.
I think you're a lovely lady. You interest me. I do. I can't go through this anymore. I'm exhausted. She's exhausted. You're bigger than I am. You beat the shit out of me. I'm just tired. As long as you're blonde and tall.
Although almost universally panned by critics, Cassavetes loved the film and for years talked about it as the greatest acting experience of his life. While Husbands was being critically and commercially savaged, Cassavetes secured a deal with Universal to make Minnie And Moskowitz, released in 1971.
Tell me a joke. You know jokes? I'll tell you one. Did you ever hear?
I don't want to hear no jokes.
Don't listen to no jokes. There don't be a joke with me.
She was good.
You know who Bugs Bunny is?
This time he cast the entire film with family and friends. Cassell played a somewhat unhinged parking attendant who falls for a museum curator played by Rowlands. She is still reeling from being jilted by her callous married lover played by Cassavetes.
You know that movie? I liked it and I didn't like it. I gotta go. Oh, you did it again! Won't you put now? I weren't. Oh, good night. I don't know. Oh, excuse me.
That's okay.
Very sorry.
While filming the chilling scene where Cassavetes slaps Rowlands around, the crew jumped up to restrain him, believing she had genuinely been attacked.
I don't want you to lie to me about being drunk. I don't want you to lie to me about darling. You understand me? Don't move.
Rowlands pretended she had really been hurt as payback for his refusal to tell her in advance that he was playing this role. During filming, Cassavetes used techniques to make Rowlands and Cassell hate one another, anything to set them off balance.
Oh, Seymour, we have nothing in common.
I know it.
And don't look at me like that.
I'm always gonna look at you like that. I'm always gonna look at you like that. I don't care if we're together 500 years.
He used similar tactics on Val Avery to great effect, taking the actor aside to provoke an argument with him during his scenes.
What is it with you blondes? You all have some Swedish suicide impulse, huh?
In essence, Minnie And Moskowitz was a veiled self-portrait of Cassavetes and Rowlands' own relationship. It's an optimistic film about trust and connection. Cassavetes remortgaged his house to acquire the funds to shoot his next film, and Peter Falk, who was starring in TV's Columbo, put up $500,000 of his own money.
I'm going to make this up to you. I'm not going to work tomorrow. I'm going to take the day off tomorrow, and we're going to be together tomorrow. All day. All right, sweetheart?
Yeah.
Originally intended for the stage, A Woman Under the Influence, released in 1974, is widely considered to be Gena Rowlands' finest performance. She plays Mabel Longhetti, an LA housewife whose husband Nick, played by Peter Falk, becomes convinced is having a mental breakdown.
Hi. You know Nick stood me up tonight. After I got the kids in with my mothers and everything.
My name is Carson Cross.
Nick!
No, Carson. Carson Cross. I'm what brought you home last night.
Cassavetes had everything on the line. When he struggled to find a distribution deal, Martin Scorsese refused to show his own film at the New York Film Festival in 1974, unless they also showed A Woman Under the Influence.
This is Mabel for everybody. Hi.
Would you like some spaghetti? You want spaghetti? Yes.
Right.
I was trying to be nice.
Wacko!
Mickey, don't be afraid to hurt my feelings. Tell me what you want me to be, how you want me to be. I can be that. I can be anything. You tell me, Mickey.
The film became Cassavetes' biggest hit to date, earning him an Academy Award nomination for Best Director.
You know, I never did anything in my whole life that was anything except I made you guys. I made you and you and you.
While Rowlands' majestic portrayal earned her an Academy Award nomination for Best Actress.
I have 5 points then. I
Number 7.
The killing of a Chinese bookie was made as an intellectual experiment. The choice of genre was a calculated decision to do something less emotionally demanding than his previous film. He was entering new ground.
And 400. You raise it 400.
Told her 400. I raise it 4. It's $800.
I'm gonna have to ask you to sign a couple of forms. $23,000 is a lot of money.
The initial idea for the film was devised one night by Cassavetes and Martin Scorsese. The debt-ridden owner of a strip joint, played by Ben Gazzara, is forced by the mob to murder a rival gangster.
We've got this. Chinese. Down in Chinatown.
There's no chance of a jam with that 38 revolver.
We're going to let you make the decision because after all, you're making the hit now.
Like all Cassavetes films, it's less concerned with plot than messy humanity, even giving dignity to unsympathetic characters. At the beginning of filming, Gazzara was struggling to understand his character. When he asked for more insight, John broke down in tears during his explanation. Gazzara realized that this character represented John and his fight against the establishment. The character was trying to live his life, his dream the way he wanted, but there were all these forces keeping him down.
Now I shall mesmerize you, all of you. Hypnotize you.
How's it going, sir?
Imagination is funny.
I gotta be surprised to live in the planet. Maybe you should, come along. We're all fairly interested in your experience. Huh? You're an amateur.
Despite Chinese Bookie going on to become a practical template upon which crime films would be built,
Take a walk.
on its release it was a critical and commercial disaster. As far back as 1968, Cassavetes had had the idea of doing a backstage drama titled Opening Night. Inspired by two of his favorite films, the 1937 version of A Star is Born and All About Eve. Opening Night, released in 1977, stars Rowlands, Cassavetes, Gazzara, and Joan Blondell.
I've seen a lot of drunks in my day. I've never seen anybody as drunk as you and still be able to walk. You're fantastic.
Rowlands, while offering up an excruciating masterclass in drunk acting, portrays famed stage actress Myrtle Gordon, haunted by an obsessive young fan who was killed in a road accident as she struggles against the ageist themes of the play.
I'm sick to death of hearing how old this woman is. Who gives a damn how old this woman is? Does she win or does she lose? That's what I want to know.
I know.
She tried to talk to me about age. Now I ask you, really?
Don't be so distant, Maurice. Come on, have a drink.
I'm hungry. I have a small part.
It's unsympathetic. The audience doesn't like me. I can't afford to be in love with you.
Of course I love you.
Much of opening night is anchored in actual incidents in Cassavetes and Rowlands' lives. Remember the slap while filming Minnie And Moskowitz?
I didn't hit it all the way. I didn't hit it, baby.
Please tell me what this play doesn't express. Hope?
A deeper analysis reveals the film to be a mirage-like version of what Cassavetes and Rowlands' lives might have been if they had never met.
Well, love moves at a hell of a rate of speed, doesn't it?
Many of the key scenes were performed in front of a live audience, greatly enhancing the picture.
I'm getting older.
What do we do about that?
Including the scene when the two protagonists in the play throw their lines out the window.
Want to see something wonderful?
Yes!
The gritty New York City crime drama Gloria, released in 1980, started out as a spec script Cassavetes threw together for MGM, with no intention of directing. But it was picked up by Columbia, who offered Rowlands the lead role. She accepted on the condition that her husband direct. He was hesitant to do another studio film and didn't think much of the script, but as Gena loved the role so much, he eventually agreed.
Gloria.
Hi. Ran out of coffee. Coming out of the whole hurry. There are men downstairs. We have every reason to believe that Jack's marked, and I'm marked. Johnny and Phil are marked. Margarita's marked. You gotta take the kiss, Gloria.
I don't know what to do.
Your father told you to come with me, so come on.
A former gangster mob becomes the reluctant guardian of a young Puerto Rican kid targeted by the mob. Rowlands' Gloria is unflappable and effortlessly iconic as her indifference is gradually worn down, earning her second Best Actress Oscar nomination. While her child actor co-star John Adames delivers a memorable performance, reminiscent of a young street-smart Cassavetes.
You're pink! Have you ever been in love?
Forget it. I outweigh you 60 pounds. Oh, leave me alone. Go on now, run.
Gloria, why don't you take a walk? We'll take care of that kid. You got that book, kid?
Although probably the most commercial movie he ever made, it is now respected as one of the most unique crime films of its time. Its influence is obvious in countless better-known movies to this day.
You let a woman beat ya, huh? You little tiny nothing. You punks.
Love Streams, released in 1984, loosely based on the play of the same name by Ted Allen, was the last film that Cassavetes wrote and directed.
A beautiful woman has to offer the man her secrets.
Mother, I want to go with my father.
An over-the-hill playboy and his sister, railing against the loss of her family, come together in hopes of surviving the despondency they have resigned themselves to.
Love is a stream. It's continuous. It doesn't stop.
Jon Voight and Gena Rowlands were due to reprise the lead roles they had developed on stage. When at the final hour, Voight was forced to back out, Cassavetes had no choice but to take on the male lead. Although he felt too old and inadequate for the role, he still managed to pull off one of his most profound and touching performances.
Didn't I tell you I was going to go out all night? Didn't I? I told you I was going out all night. I was going to be with somebody, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I'm almost not crazy now.
I just don't care.
Cassavetes' career of risk-taking comes to a climax in this intricate, emotionally intelligent film.
I mean, we've had experiences of the heart you couldn't even imagine. You're talking about a guy who held my hand in a hospital, who cried when his baby was born. Where were you? Come on. That's it.
It's going to be all right, Robert.
That's it. Come on. That's it. I'll talk in just a minute, okay?
Come on, Fettis.
Come on. That's it. Come on.
Fettis.
Here we go.
Replete with surrealist interludes, Love Streams is like nothing else in American cinema.
I love you and I want you to stay here and I want you to stay here forever. I'm taking care of the animals. I'm taking care of everything.
Though Cassavetes would direct one more film, joining the production of Big Trouble at the request of Peter Falk, it is Love Streams that stands as his final masterpiece. While never truly part of Hollywood, he eventually earned the industry's respect and recognition. Throughout 30 years of filmmaking, Cassavetes had beaten the system by continuing to make deeply personal films entirely on his own terms.
Do you believe that love is a continuous stream?
See, everyone in the world is very screwed up.